All right, online English 12ers. This is your video to kick off week 6. Week 6, I'll be gone for the first couple days for my daughter's wedding. So I already said this last week, but in case you didn't hear it. So I'm doing the videos early. All right, so week 6, we are going to kick off Unit 2. And so I started in class talking about the theme of the unit, which, believe it or not, is gender roles. Keep in mind, this was written in 2017. And we actually have a lot of fun in class. And I showed 2 videos, which are in your plan here for the week. The first one is a TED Talk by a teenage girl who's talking about gender roles and how they've changed. And then what are, stereotypes for the perfect man and perfect woman, and we talk about that in class. And then we talk about how things have changed, like since the 1950s for gender roles in general, okay? And then we have a little bit of fun with, there's another video of gender roles or stereotypes in commercials. And there's several out there. If you don't like the one I posted, there's so many examples. You can just YouTube it. And they're fun to have discussions. So that's how I start the unit. But since I'll be gone at the very beginning of the week, I'm just having you guys do a close read right away called Pink Think. And that's your traditional feminist point of view, very sarcastic about expectations for women. And then when I come back, is when we'll talk about the theme of the unit in class. Of course, you guys are at home, so it doesn't matter with order. So I talk about that, and then the first story in Unit 2 is The Wife of Bath's Tale. And it's a very famous story written by Geoffrey Chaucer from the Middle Ages in a book called Canterbury Tales. Actually, Canterbury Tales is one long, huge poem. But because it's from the Middle Ages, it's a little difficult to understand sometimes. So I do a lot of background information, and you have all of that stuff in Brightspace. So you're going to do a little tiny scavenger hunt about him like you did with Eugene O'Neill. Sorry. So Chaucer supposedly is the second greatest writer in the world next to Shakespeare. So he gets a lot of kudos from the literature community. And part of that is because writing Canterbury Tales was a huge feat. Canterbury Tales is set, like I said, in the Middle Ages, and there's a lot of background to understand. So I even have a worksheet on how the people from the Middle Ages thought about medicine, because that's mentioned a lot in the Canterbury Tales. So anyway, the story is about a bunch of people going on a pilgrimage. And there are pilgrimages today. I have another video about those. I think I stuck it in there too. If you want to go on one today, you can go on a pilgrimage. A pilgrimage is a journey to a holy destination. And sometimes people just go for the historical part of it, or just the fun part of it. Sorry, I don't know why the bell is ringing. I think probably because my class is supposed to start. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Anyway. So this is a story about people from the Middle Ages, which means there's no cars or technology, and they get together at this bar / inn to go on a pilgrimage to the Canterbury Cathedral, which is a real place that still exists today, but it also existed back in his time period. And people liked to go on pilgrimages to these cathedrals because there was no Disney World or Airbnb or VRBO to visit, and it was a nice vacation spot, especially if you lived in a hut. So all these people represent the walks of life from the Middle Ages. So there's a knight and a squire and a nun, a bunch of people that work for the church. There's a cook and a sailor. Basically all the types of jobs that people would have had back then. And so it's a nice snapshot of what people did for a living. But they're very colorful characters, just like you would meet. They seem very realistic, like if you went on one of these vacations. So they all meet each other the night before, introduce each other, and there's a whole description of the characters, what they're like. And I have that for you too. This is all just scaffolding, so if you take the time to read through it, hopefully when we actually read the tales, it'll make more sense. So they leave in the morning to go to Canterbury, and it's a long trip on their horses. So somebody suggests they have a contest, a storytelling contest. So the person that tells the best story will get their vacation paid for. So they all take turns telling completely different tales. You guys can come in. And they're all trying to win. So The Wife of Bath's Tale is the first one you're going to read in the textbook, the most famous one, and supposedly that is going to answer the question of what women want in a relationship. And the woman who's telling the story has been married 5 times. She's really ahead of her time for a character from the Middle Ages and a female character, a very strong character, very funny. And then there's a close read that you'll do next week about The Partner's Tale, which is another one. So anyway, lots of scaffolding to get you ready to read, and hopefully you're ready to go. Oh, and there's new vocabulary too. I think I mentioned that. All right, my class is starting. Look at all these people are starting to arrive. So I'll see you later.